Hello, this is the practical roleplay 1 part B, the reflection element, and I would like to share with you the notes that I took in regards to my session. I've put that it's session 4 out of 7, and the date, her name, and then her goals, dealing with feelings of self-doubt and inadequacy. We discussed the following topics: how she questions it. This is evident when she is parenting Ethan, and it's beginning to creep into her workplace as well. She feels like a failure and frustrated. I explained to her what the CBT approach and theory was. She was very interested and keen to continue that approach. And then I set her a home task of having a thought record, following on, explaining in detail what that looks like, which I set up a thought record chart for her here to fill out, as you would have seen in our first role play. And here are the different questions that she'll be required to answer. Okay. And I explained to Claire that this is a nice way to kind of record the thoughts that she's having, as well as evaluate those, and then replace them with more helpful thoughts, which we discussed in the session as well. Okay? And this will be a point of discussion when we return and meet together next week. Okay? And then I put in next session, discuss the thought record and identify helpful behaviours that can be used in the future. Now, I decided to choose the CBT approach because I felt that Claire was a suitable candidate for that therapy, as ability of automatic thought. Although her automatic thought was negative, she was aware of those automatic thoughts and also the emotions that went along with it, and she accepted that she wants to change and she would like to replace those negative thoughts with more helpful thoughts. So I found that she was a suitable candidate for this approach. Also, I felt that we discussed during the role play the impact of how these automatic thoughts can have in negative ways, and we discussed examples that she'd shared with me, and I'd broken it down with her as I explained the CBT theory with her. Also, we discussed how we can replace them with more helpful behaviours, helpful thoughts, which would then in turn change her behaviour into more productive and positive experiences. I believe that it would benefit Claire as I said, she meets characteristics where CBT techniques will be effective. It's an opportunity for unhelpful thoughts to, having self-doubt and inadequacy, to more balanced and realistic thoughts. Also, I felt that she was making connections between her thoughts and the behavioural consequences that followed, and that is that we want to replace these negative thoughts and behaviours by having an action plan, which is the thought record, to make that shift into more positive changes. So I felt that she had a lot of advantages in terms of applying this technique. In terms of limitations, just trying to think. I think the only limitations that she will come across is not allowing the negative thoughts to take over, and her to be a little more conscious of when those negative thoughts are starting to creep in and how to push those aside and replace them with more positive thoughts. I think it needs to be more conscious, that change, time and effort for her, where I think that the thought record is a great way for her to be able to address that issue. Reflect on and evaluate the use of counselling communication skills. Overall, I thought that I was a lot more comfortable. I felt a lot more confident. I felt more genuine. I think it's come with the practice of doing a number of role plays now. So, what didn't work for me, actually, in terms of what didn't work, I think that I improved based on my previous, so my questioning, allowing time for Claire to respond, not kind of asking a question and then explaining the question like I was doing in my previous role plays. I felt like I really improved on that. What areas do I need to develop? I think what I would like to develop is just getting more opportunities to apply the different CBT strategies and techniques, because there's a number of them, and I've used a couple in the last role play, or the last 2 role plays. I find that I gain a lot when I put it into action, and these role plays are allowing me to do that, which is great. How can I go about developing these? I work in a school environment. I am given, luckily, the opportunity to shadow the counsellors in my school, so this is going to be a great chance for me to utilise all of this theory and knowledge that I'm gaining and applying it not only in the practical assessments but in a holistic environment with children. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for taking the time.